Another week, a lot had happened. I personally truly realized patience is gold. Honestly, it's so important to have patience. This week, I was more of a laying back, chilling, relaxing. Honestly, did not have a much work of a value that I expected myself to have. I was more toward the chilling side. Maybe I feel like the past couple months, I was a little bit working too hard, overworking. But yeah, basically this week is more of a break for me, but I still kept up some tasks that I was doing. But I realized patience is so important because I was so close to making mistake. Simply being impatient and having too much enthusiasm that I was rushing to pursue a certain thing. So first thing comes up was a housing contract that I was supposed to sign for a summer housing. It was going to be a 3 month long lasting, but thank God that I did not sign that because it would have been the worst decision I probably made. I was probably in a rush, very impatient because I simply wanted a place to live in here in San Diego. However, the price was reasonable and valuable. It was worth the value, but I simply did not recognize how much opportunity I would have lost if I already signed a contract and locked in the deal this early on for the summer. Like if I signed it, I would have been paying thousands of dollars to live at that place. And meanwhile, I could have maybe signed at another place for me to live for the whole entire school year because the housing contract go like this. For other places around in different area for like different apartment that you want to sign for, you'll have to start the leasing mostly around June in order to get a better price, which I'm trying to do. But then at first I wasn't even thoughting I didn't have a thought about thinking of doing that. So I was simply saying like, okay, I could figure out summer first, and then by the time school started again in September, I could sign again at least. But now I look back and I change my mind. I'm like, I think I should just sign over the summer where I'm gonna live for a whole year because the contract go for 12 months long, which is 1 year, and that's how most of the leasing contract work. Or you pay a more expensive price for a shorter amount of period and time. But luckily enough, thing didn't go well on signing a contract for 3 months housing because there was no way that we gone through the contract through the actual official site by the school. So we was trying to figure out over time, figure out. We were just let that happen there. And then right before like today, this day, we were supposed to go sign it, but luckily I changed my mind. I opted out. Although it was super bad decision. Honestly, my rush led to a lot of mistake for the leaser as well because I mean the leasee, right? One of them, yeah, the person that was leasing out the his room. Luckily, we did not come in a deal. It would have been bad for me first of all, and now it's bad for him. But sometime I realized in life, like I mean, nothing happened. We didn't sign no contract. There was nothing going further. We were all just negotiating, saying it was verbal communication. So I wouldn't consider that as anything like a fraud or backing out or anything. So it's reasonable for me to do that. But here's the thing. And on the other hand, I was about to go sign another leasing that was going to be last for a whole year. But luckily enough, I got friends around me tell me to actually just hold on and wait because I thought that price was the best option and most valuable. But then I told my friend told me like, all right, just pause and wait, check out everything, all the options you have seen, and then you decide. And I realized like, man, I do this on a regular, and I don't even realize this. And I realized how important it is. Our emotion and impatience catch up on us on making a lot of mistake, and which why we make so much mistake when we are being emotion. Simple as that. And this is probably my biggest lesson taker of this whole entire years or month or week. Simply learning the patient, looking over stuff, and then execute. A lot of time I feel like people are spending overtime too much of a looking and looking rather than the execution. But I truly realize now the real hunter, they plan out everything, they check through everything, and then they will execute. There is some group of people that will just plan forever and never execute, or a group of people like how I was simply doing, simply just execute and keep on going. And whatever problem comes up, we fix it from there. And there's the final, the best group of people, I would say. It will you kind of see the timeline, you plan out everything, and you kind of will recognize the question or problem that will run into you, and then you make the execution. Therefore, you have your plan, you know what's in mind, that what will come up to you, and how your execution plan will go through the process. And it is so important nowadays to recognize in this fast-paced world, everything is so fast-paced. Like you watching a TikTok is less than 30 seconds and you're already scrolling on to the next one. It's so important to have patience. And with patience, trust me, I think you will make a lot out of it. You will make less mistake for sure. I will guarantee that. There's millions of opportunity around. Don't be afraid of missing out. Like the scaredy make us emotion and then we make wrong decision. Which why scaredy is part of the economic, which is social science. People are making decision based off of scaredy because they're afraid to miss out certain opportunity or certain thing might run out or whatever. So it's so important to learn to control the emotion as well as understanding that patience is part of the key. Sometimes it's more important to learn to be patient. That's why people that have been investing for so long of time and time, they would rather wait and be patient than making a mistake. Because once you make a mistake, there ain't no going back. You lose that money. For example, going to the casino. Once you drop the money on all red or black, or you decided to keep adding more for a 21 blackjack, like once you call it, there isn't going back. You have to accept that fact. However, if you first plan out everything, even you call it, you know it's part of the risk, then yeah, you obviously know you wouldn't be as emotional as much. You'd be like, okay, I should stop from here. But in the other case, without any plan, you'd be like, man, I will make this back. Come on, let's do this again. Then the problem become bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the compound effect. So I just hope that later on in more stuff I face, or even with question difficulty, I could actually calm myself down first, pull myself away from that question or thing that I'm seeing, and actually truly analyze the question, I'll say, and then make the execution. So I should have a plan in mind before actually taking that action. Because so much I believe in early on, so much mistake I made is literally by rushing and without waiting. So for example, one good example I had, booking um booking a bus ticket. So I booked it. I was so in a rush. I was going to my cousin place from San Diego to Irvine, and I was booking the bus ticket. It was supposed to be for this weekend, but I booked it until next weekend. I did not realize the time. I only checked at the price, and I booked it. I sent him a screenshot. He was like, "What? Next week? I thought you coming in this week." And then I realized, oh, I made a mistake there. I did not know. I simply just went straight in. I canceled the ticket. I lost some fee because there's obviously transaction fee throughout the process. I lost the transaction fee. I was like, it's whatever. And I booked it again. And guess what happened this time? I got the right date, the time, but I did not check it was AM or PM. Like how ridiculous that rookie mistake could have been. But it happened in a matter of less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. I lost more than 10, 20 bucks ish. It's small money, but it could become eventually turning into a big question when I facing bigger business opportunity or bigger entrepreneur business decision I have to make in life. I recognize the patience is so important that we have to go back and analyze our mistake and actually revise the stuff we did and actually have a plan. So if I simply had a plan right there, If I booked it wrong, what would I do to change it before executing again? Rather than making this super fast emotion decision that way I want to just, oh, this is the wrong time. Oh, this is the wrong time. I checked it. Oh, let me redo this real quick. I switch it right back. And then I realize this is wrong. So it's far more important to double check your work honestly and be more patient with the work. You can't constantly expect the result to come so fast. That's why I was rushing. I was rushing to see the result to get the ticket done and then off to my next thing. But often we just have to learn to have the patience on the smallest thing in life, and that will change us. And which why I think patience is really gold. And I'll see you guys on the next one.